Facebook, but I'm supposed to read this because some of you don't have Facebook. I wanted to take a moment to thank my church family for their generous care package for college. Thank you also very much. I love you. Can't wait to be back with you at Christmas time. It seems like a long ways away. Appreciate everybody participating in the Sunday school picnic yesterday. Couldn't have asked for a more beautiful day, I don't believe. And we had a wonderful time. We did not cook a pig in the ground, but we're going to. The first annual Faith Bible Church pig roast coming soon. That's all we're going to say about that for right now. Listen, I couldn't help it. Kids were running around there last night, and I thought, look how awesome would it have been, whole pig up out of the ground.
You didn't even like the fake version.
Listen,
You make free barbecue.
that's exactly right. If you don't like the way the white pork tastes when we take it out of the ground, we will have plenty of barbecue sauce there. Barbecue sauce fixes just about anything.
Do not encourage.
Who knows? We might take about 5 bottles of barbecue sauce and chuck in that pig and cook it that way. It'd be fan. They says you gotta have a lot of water, so let's, more moisture the better in barbecue sauce. Might even throw a Mountain Dew and a cherry Dr. Pepper in there. We're going to finish up Hosea chapter 4 this morning. As we do, there's a pretty strong warning here. Remember, we are in God's courtroom in chapter 4. And he has been laying out his grievances against the nation of Israel. And you have the divided kingdom, and so he has particularly been addressing the 10 tribes that are in the north, that are kingdom of Israel. And then you have Judah and Benjamin down in the southern kingdom. And now he is going to, as witnesses to those in the courtroom, he is going to bring this together and kind of give them a warning that's happening here. Now let's read our passage together and then we'll bow for a word of prayer, starting in verse 15. Though thou, Israel, play the harlot, yet let not Judah offend. Come not ye unto Gilgal, neither go ye up to Bethaven, nor swear the Lord liveth. For Israel slideth back as a backsliding heifer. Now the Lord will feed them as a lamb in a large place. Ephraim is joined to idols. Let him alone. Their drink is sour. They have committed whoredom continually. Her rulers with shame do love. Give me. The wind hath bound her up in her wings, and they shall be ashamed because of their sacrifices. Bow for prayer. Father, sometimes it is hard when we are dealing with the consequences of our choices. Sometimes it's difficult when we see people suffer because of the sin in their lives. But help us to examine our own selves. Not to be pointing fingers at anyone else, not to be blaming anyone else, but to be considering in our own heart where we stand before you. Am I holy as you are holy? Am I committed? Do I love you with all my heart, with all my soul, with all my might? I trust as we look at this warning to Judah that we would realize how easy it is to have our affections stolen away by the world. And so help us to realize the importance of separation. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. We have a warning to the witnesses that are gathered here in the courtroom. Now, Southern tribe has some issues. Judah and Benjamin are not without their problems. But thanks to the loyal faithfulness of their king, their plummet has been a whole lot less than what we have seen in the northern kingdom. Their consequences have been a whole lot less than what we have seen in the northern kingdom. And so they are actually preserved for a little longer than what we're about to see in the northern kingdom. God's plea here is simple. Learn from the example. It's always been interesting to me as I've been growing up, and the older I get, it doesn't become any less interesting. You can have kids that will grow up in a household. One person will see the way things went in the household and go the completely opposite direction, and the other person will follow exactly, whatever happened in the household. And when you interview them and you ask them, what was the situation? They'll say, well, my dad was an alcoholic. I never wanted to touch the stuff. And you ask the other son, and he's like, well, my dad was an alcoholic. What did you expect? God's saying, listen, sometimes when we watch something that's going on, we have a tendency to think, that's not going to happen to me. Or the big lie of Satan. I'm not addicted to something. I can control it. God says, listen, it's really important here that you learn from this example of the kingdom of Israel, because they've really gotten themselves into a mess. Though thou, Israel, play the harlot, yet let not Judah offend. Israel is headed for destruction because of the inevitable consequences of her choices. But Judah, strong warning, and he's going to give a 3-part warning here in just a minute. He says, do not offend in like manner. You say, how are they supposed to offend? Gang, I firmly believe that if we understood how much our sin offends God, we'd be a whole lot less tempted to do it. If we knew how much it hurt God, I remember when I was a young person, I had been warned about doing something. I was doing something I shouldn't have. My mom and dad were driving up this backcountry road to vote. And there was a fork in the road. You could go right or you could go left. They always went to the right, because it was the shortest way to get up to the polling place. And so we're riding our bikes with a bunch of friends, and we're going off, and we got to that fork, and I was like, let's go left. Well, it's going to be harder let's go left anyway. And I'm thinking, Mom and Dad come out to vote tonight, they're going to go right. Well, they'll never even know I'm out running around. And a few minutes later, beep, beep, and the car stops beside us. Mom rolls down the window and says, we'll talk when we get home. Listen, I don't want to go into details, but I'm going to tell you this right now. I think probably for the first time in my life, I realized how deeply my mom was hurt and offended when one of her kids did something they weren't supposed to be doing. And I will remember till my dying day sitting there on the couch and the look on my mom's face. And I've told many a teenager over the years, I'll tell you one thing. For your entire life, make absolutely sure you never break your mother's heart. Because if you care the least bit about her, the look in her eye when you break her heart will absolutely destroy you. Can I suggest that if we care the least bit about God, if we could look in that holy eye and see the offense that our sin causes him and how it breaks his heart, we'd be a whole lot less tempted to do it. We can't see him. We can't look him in the eye. But God's writing here, and he says to Judah, hey, you better pay attention. Make sure that you do not give an offense to God. The New Testament, they were just as concerned, only Paul puts it a different way. He says, do not use grace as an occasion to sin. We don't have the time this morning to turn there, but 1 Corinthians 6:15, Romans 6:1-6, both deal with that situation. Should we sin that grace may abound? Paul says, God forbid. Why in the world would you offend a holy, loving, righteous God in order to say that he gets to act with his grace? Doesn't make any sense. Look at the threefold warning that he is going to give to them. He says, "Come not ye unto Gilgal," that's the first one. "Neither go ye up to Bethaven," that's the second one. "Nor swear, the Lord liveth," that's the third one. You say, why is it such a big deal? The mouth of one or two witnesses, something to be established, and a threefold cord is not quickly broken. But what he's doing to them is he's telling them, don't do it. And then he's saying, don't even think about doing it. Oh, and by the way, don't do it. Let's look at the slippery slide. The first one, do not come to Gilgal. What's the big deal with Gilgal? Gilgal is located between Jordan and Jericho, and it's very significant in the nation of Israel for several reasons. Turn with me, if you will, to Joshua chapter 4, verse 9. They have been traveling through the wilderness. They didn't want to cross the Jordan the first time, and so here they are. They have finally crossed the Jordan. They have lost Moses, their beloved leader. Really stabs them in the heart when Moses is not allowed to go into the promised land. They come over and they see this great big walled city of Jericho. And by the way, second time they come to the river, it's at flood stage. And in verse 9, they pass through, and it says, "And Joshua set up 12 stones in the midst of Jordan, the place where the feet of the priests, which bear the ark of the covenant, stood, and they are there unto this day." Where is that? That's in Gilgal. That's where they were crossing. So you have this significant memorial that's out in the middle of the Jordan River. Besides that, they also have this 12-stone monument that is on the bank of the river. And there are multiple times when Joshua told the nation of Israel, look, every time you bring your kids here on vacay and you pass by and they ask you about that memorial, you make sure and tell them what God did for you this day, right here at Gilgal. In chapter 5, verse 2, the circumcision was revived at Gilgal. In chapter 5, verse 10 of Joshua, the Passover was kept for the first time in the new land. Where? Yeah, at Gilgal. The tabernacle was pitched for the first time in the new land, and the sacrifices were made for the first time in the new land. Joshua divided the land there in chapter 14, verse 6. And when Ahab is running all over the place, and you have all the prophets of Baal, Elijah and Elisha go down to Gilgal, and what do they find there? They find a college for the prophets. When they wanted a king, Gilgal. And there they made him a king. You say, why would they take Saul to Gilgal and make him a king? Because it's where they crossed into the promised land, and it's because it's where all the folks were circumcised from the wilderness wandering, and it's where they first set up the tabernacle, and where they first sacrificed, and where they had their first Passover. And now all of a sudden, God is telling them, make sure you don't go up to Gilgal. I don't know if any of you are history buffs. Honest to goodness, this would be like God telling us, don't go to Boston, Philadelphia, or Washington, D.C. How do you think about the history of this nation that resides in those three areas? I mean, you've got everything that is something that happens there, and he starts out and he says, one of the most spiritually significant places to you in the entire history, from the time you crossed the river until now, I don't want you to go anywhere close. You say, how in the world is a strong warning come if Gilgal is such an important place to them? Well, it's near the border of the two kingdoms. If you look on the map, Gilgal and Bethel are really close to each other. Gilgal, a little broader area, Bethel's in it. And the problem is it became infamous for idol worship after Jeroboam and the splitting of the two kingdoms. You remember the situation, hopefully, from worship, then they're going to be friends with everybody down there, and they're going to see how well things are working down there, and then I'm going to lose them. So, he just made worship convenient. And he set up 2 golden calves, Bethel and Dan. And he made it, Gilgal, a very important place to worship, just not God. And can I suggest to you this morning that in the middle of an area that should have been ripe with some of the greatest history as a reminder of who God is and what He's done for them, right in the middle of it, it actually becomes this famous, or let me use a different word, infamous place of idolatry. There's still a monument in the middle of the Jordan River. There's still a monument on the bank where they came up out, and every single leader of the 12 tribes stacked a stone there. You could still take your kids there and walk by, and you can still tell them about what God did. But he says to them, Judah, don't go on vacay to Gilgal. Stay away. Of 1,000 reasons to go and visit. And I know you can sit there and say, well, we'd like to go see where the College of Prophets were. We'd like to go see where they first sacrificed. We'd like to visit the place where the tabernacle was first set up. We'd like to visit. Kids get out their cell phones and take some pictures of. And God says, don't come close to this mess, because I'm really fixing to judge you. And you don't want to be anywhere around when the judgment comes. It's not time to go to Gilgal and take pictures. It's not time to go to Gilgal and talk about. What it's really time to do is talk about how we can't go to Gilgal today, kids, because the folks up there don't love God the way they're supposed to. Folks up there don't serve God the way they're supposed to. Folks up there are making some pretty bad decisions, and God's been warning them and warning them and warning them and dealing with them and dealing with them and dealing with them, and now He's getting ready to come in and end the kingdom. It's going to be really severe. Again, we can't go to Gilgal anymore. Do not go up to Beth-Aven. Bethel and Beth-Aven up on a hill. It's interesting because this is the place where Jacob visited with God. I mean, you think about it. And if you ask a good Israelite person, they're going to name off Abraham, and they're going to name off Isaac, and they're going to name off Jacob. And then they're going to name off Moses, and they're going to name off David, and they're going to name off Joshua. I mean, Jacob's one of the big first 3, right? And this is where he wrestled with God, and God dealt with him personally. And he was never the same after that, not physically and not spiritually. Bethel means house of God, given that name by Jacob. But Beth-Aven means house of vanity. And it's interesting because at Bethel, there is a big altar there. And Jacob sacrificed on it. And oftentimes Israel would go back to Bethel. Over and over and over again, searching God's Word. Just type in Bethel and hit enter. And see how many things pop up and all of the stuff that happened with the nation of Israel at Bethel. And God says, don't you dare. Don't you go to Gilgal and don't come up to Bethel. Because Bethel has become not a house of God, but it's become Beth-Aven, a house of vanity. It's one of the 2 places where Jeroboam put a golden calf and the kingdom was divided. And it's so bad, we got to go there. Amos chapter 7. Amos chapter 7, verse 13. Also Amaziah said unto Amos, O thou seer, go, flee thee away into the land of Judah, and there eat bread and prophesy there. But prophesy not again any more at Bethel, for it is the king's chapel, And it is the king's court. Do you see what he's saying? If we would go on and read, this is where Jeroboam himself went down and he pulled a Saul. Saul's got the army together. They're supposed to offer a sacrifice. They want God's blessing before they go out and put a whooping on the Philistines. And Samuel doesn't come, and he doesn't come, and he doesn't come, and he doesn't come. So what does Saul do? I mean, the people are getting scared and they're fleeing. So he decides he's going to step in and be Samuel, and he offers the offering himself. And about that time, Samuel shows up and says, God's going to take away the kingdom from him. You don't think Jeroboam knows that? He's just been given the kingdom. And he sets up a big altar in Bethel. There's already an altar in Bethel. Why does he have to set up another one? Because that altar is the altar where you worship God. Ought to tell you a whole lot about what's going on with Jeroboam, right? He sets up another altar, and he is getting ready to burn incense and offer a sacrifice on it. Is that supposed to be his responsibility or the priest's responsibility? From the very get-go, you can tell how polluted the northern kingdom is. From the very get-go. And it has become such a bad place that the king regularly went down there and burnt incense and offered his own offerings at Bethel. And you're saying, listen, yeah, I know it used to be significant. I know it used to be the house of God, but now it's the house of vanity. And I have to wonder, in how many churches across America today are people gathered together in what used to be a house of God? But there's absolutely no semblance of worship going on this morning. No one's opening a Bible. No one's dealing with sin. No one's learning to love Him anymore. Kids are downstairs learning some, just entertainment thing while the parents are upstairs. And when the social club is over and everybody goes home feeling better about themselves, and God says, don't go to Bethel anymore. I'm not even there. There's no worship of me happening in Bethel. They're worshiping. Oh, they're sincere as they can be. They're burning their stuff on the altar. They're offering their incense. Even the king's all getting involved. And man, it sounds good. It looks good. And it's rotten to the core. It's vanity. It's emptiness. That's the meaning of vanity. 1 Kings chapter 12, verse 33 is where you can find the king offering. And in 1 Kings 13, the man of God comes. Because God never ignores those types of situations. And so a prophet comes up there and he rebukes the king, and the king has him killed. And the interesting thing is, when he puts forth his hand to stop the prophet from talking, God withers his hand. Go home and read it. So that he cannot draw his hand back to his body again. You would think, folks, that you would instantly take stock of your life. But years later, when this young boy takes over the kingdom down in the south, and he decides that he's going to clean up all the idolatry, and he starts traveling throughout all his own country, and then when he gets done in his own country, he decides he's going to go to the north and do the same thing, he crosses over into Bethel, and he tears down the altars to Baal, and he burns the Baal house with all of the prophets inside, because he sent out an invitation, and when they fill the place, he locks the doors and then burns the whole thing down on top of it. And to make sure that nobody will ever worship at Baal there again, he goes and he finds the sepulcher and he digs out a bunch of the bones and he grinds them on the altar, and then he breaks down the altar. And he goes to another sepulcher and he's getting ready to do the same thing, and one of them says, "Don't do that, that's the man of God," that the king spoke out against in 1 Kings chapter 13. Years later, they still have not learned their lesson. And now God says to Judah, don't you go up to Beth-Aven. He won't even call it Bethel anymore. The third one, do not swear the Lord liveth. Now this sounds like a weird thing to us because this isn't a big deal to us. But in Jeremiah chapter 4, verse 2, and Zephaniah 1:5, this was a legal oath for the nation of Israel to be able to use. If you wanted somebody to know that you were serious, you could say, as the Lord liveth. In other words, what you were doing is you were saying, I am holding myself responsible before the living God. The term is Jehovah, the self-existent one. This is the national name for God for the Jewish people. It used to be personal, and it used to be referenced. If a scribe was going to write this name, he'd have to go take a bath, put on new clothes, get a new pen, write the name, throw the pen away, go take a bath, put on new clothes, come back and continue his work. That's how revered that name used to be. Used to be! It used to be. And now God says, don't you come to Gilgal. Don't you come up to Bethel. And my goodness, don't you dare run around all week long, living like the world, and then turn around and tell somebody, as the Lord liveth, when you have absolutely no respect or reverence for my name. Don't you do it. See, God is not interested in lip service. Don't swear by me if you don't believe in me, and you don't act like it, because that's hypocrisy. In John 6, verse 67, Jesus has been dealing with the multitudes, and when he's not feeding them, and when he's not doing these incredible miracles, and he talks about how hard service is going to be, all of a sudden thousands of them started leaving him. And in John 6:67, he looks at his disciples, and with almost the exact same tone in his voice that I see right here, he says, will you also go away? You see what God's saying here in Hosea chapter 4? He's looking at the nation of Judah, the small remnant that's left in the southern kingdom, as the whole northern kingdom, the 10 tribes, have gone away. And after dealing with them and dealing with them and dealing with them, he is about to destroy them as a nation. Can you hear the pleading in his voice as he looks at Judah with this threefold warning and basically says the same thing Jesus Christ said to his 12 disciples that night? Will you also go away? And Peter, bless his heart for all his faults, looks right in those precious eyes and says, where are we going to go? Who else has the words of life? With all of the folks that are abandoning God today, with all the talk that is lip service to his name, can you see that loving heart looking down from heaven this morning and watching you in the pew and saying, will you go away too? What's your answer? Go back to Hosea chapter 4. He gives us an illustration. For Israel's slideth back as a backsliding heifer. Now the Lord will feed them as a lamb in a large place. You say, wow, what in the world? Backsliding heifer is a fat-grown animal, a year old or older. But it won't be yoked, so it's not useful for labor. It doesn't want to be fenced, so they're having trouble confining it. You can't protect something that constantly runs away. You can't even take care of anything. And it's interesting because I decided I'm going to look this term up. Has he ever used it anywhere else in the Old Testament? I'm not familiar with this. Jeremiah 3:6, Jeremiah 7:24, Jeremiah 8:5, and Zechariah 7:11, God tells the nation of Israel, you are just like, you are running wild like a wild heifer. Instead of submitting to the yoke and pulling together to accomplish something, you're going crazy. For a little while time I go to visit my brother, he was working at the Sterling Sisters farm near Mount Summit where he was going to school. And the guy who was managing the farm there had teams of Belgians. And one day we were out there and he said, "Oh good, you came to visit. This ought to be fun. You want to break a horse?" I said, "Sure, I'll break a horse." "Hey, you break a Belgian, is it like breaking a quarter horse?" And he said, "Oh no, you're in for a fun treat. Take a great big tire, like off of one of these front end loaders, drill holes in it, and you hook chains to it, and you put a trace on there, and they put the harness on the little horse, and of course he's all nervous because he's got this stuff touching him all over, and they put a little old-timey tractor seat in the middle of it, and you stick your feet down inside the front of that tire so you don't fly out of it. And you grab the reins and they let go of the horse. And the Belgian runs till it won't run anymore. And you hit everything it doesn't. And then you start working the animal and you get them used to being yoked together and hooked together, and you get them used to having something beside them and not alarming them. And I got to tell you, I was kind of shocked at the amount of work and time and effort that it takes to teach a young animal how to be a beast of burden and to pull together and work together in a team. And it's amazing because in the area I grew up in Pennsylvania, there's all kinds of Amish. Somewhere I have a picture of this little kid, looks like he's about 8 years old, with 11 percherons lined up together. And he's plowing the field. And they get to the end of the field. I pulled off on the highway and sat there and watched this kid for about a half an hour. This little booger's like, he's sawing back on one, you can hear him hollering in German. And then horses, like the ones on this side are backing up, and the ones in the middle are turning, and these guys are going those beautiful furrows. And then it dawned on me, it's not really about the skill of that little 8-year-old boy, is it? Because in order for 11 horses to turn and to be in perfect position, these guys have to walk backwards, these guys have to walk forward, and then you have total degrees of forward or backward or not at all until you get to the middle. And if you're going to make a nice straight furrow and then you're going to turn in unison and you're going to make another nice straight furrow, that means you have to be in unison with the horses that are around you, and everybody has to be working together, even though some people seem to be moving forward while other people are moving backwards. And it doesn't really matter what the horse thinks. It really matters the communications that are coming through the reins. And here we have this picture of one heifer that just will not listen, will not do, will not be controlled. And God says, I'm done with you. I'm done with you. You are not running wild anymore. Now you are going to be a lamb in a large place. And you say, well, that sounds cool because lambs are all like cute and cuddly. And listen, you wouldn't want to be a lamb in the wilderness. And that's exactly what God just told them. You didn't want to be the oxen in my barn. You didn't want to serve. You didn't want to accomplish anything for me. You didn't want to work with me. I'm getting ready to set you as a lamb out in the wilderness. Defenseless, humble, scared, small, no safety, no provision. Verse 17. Summary of charges real quickly. Ephraim is joined to idols, let him alone. You say, why does he single out Ephraim? It's the strongest tribe in Israel in the northern kingdom. If you'll notice, when he calls the southern kingdom, he doesn't say Judah and Benjamin. He always says what? Judah. Because Judah was like way, way, way bigger than Benjamin. Ephraim's one of the biggest up there. 36 times in this book throughout, he refers to the northern kingdom as Ephraim. It's symbolic of the whole kingdom. Joined to idols. Strong word. The condition, they are coupled. They are married. Now, that's interesting because he over and over and over again, through the first 3 chapters, the situation with the kids, the situation with Gomer, Hosea going to buy her back, over and over and over again, he says, you've been harlots, you've been harlots, you've been harlots, and now he says, you're married. But not to me. To seek as lovers. You remember when you were dating and you were courting that young lady? I drive 3.5 hours all the time to spend a day. You go home, you go back to work on Monday, man, alive, you'd be so tired. But you get up Monday morning and tired as you were, you get ready to start working, and you think, you know what? How many more days I get to do it again? Why? You didn't sit there and, sorry kids, but back then it would have been nice to have a cell phone and have Facebook time and all that other kind of stuff, you know, where you get on there and video chat with them and all that. No. I mean, you have a $200 a month phone bill. And you could have cared less. God says, Ephraim, you have that with idols, but you don't have it with man. Let them alone to reap the consequences of their choices. Verse 18, their drink is sour. Oh, they look to be having a good time. Gang, can I tell you, the world always looks like it's having a good time. When they show commercials on TV, do the Budweiser ever show the wrecked vehicle with the guy's leg cut off and somebody dead on the highway? Do they ever show lung cancer in the commercials? Do they ever show? No! They always make sin look like it's a good time. The world always makes sin look like it's a good time. But God says, don't you dare taste what they're drinking. Because it's sour. Oh, it might look good. And they might act like they're having the greatest time of their life. But do you understand that they are drinking sour drink? It's costly and it's empty. They have committed whoredom continually, physically and spiritually. It's not a once. We're getting to Sodom and Gomorrah here, folks. God has to act. He's been dealing with them and dealing with them and dealing with them, and they won't do anything. Do you think he wanted to rain down fire and brimstone? Then we have this crazy phrase. Her rulers with shame give ye. Say what? It's talking about how corrupt their rulers are. Their rulers are overcome with oppression and bribery. We don't have time to turn here. We're running out of time. But in Micah 3:11 and Micah 7:13, both instances, very strong about how the rulers would. If you went to a judge, you better take your bribe money or you're getting nothing out of the judge. You go to the priest, you better take your bribe money or you're getting nothing out of the priest. And so what he says is, her rulers with shame do love. In other words, they carry out their office. They act like they love you. They act like they're helping you. But that only happens if give ye. Better grease the palms a little if you're going to have anything happen. Judah, don't you dare even cross the border a little way to Gilgal or to Bethel. Don't go up. Because a little dabbling in sin leads to the situation that they're in now. He closes, the wind hath bound her up in her wings, and they shall be ashamed because of their sacrifices. This is talking about the whirlwind of God's judgment. Turn with me, if you will, real quickly to 2 Kings chapter 15. I'm going to read 2 verses, 19 and 20. Assyria came up against the land, and Menahem gave Pul 1,000 talents of silver, that his hand might be with him to confirm the kingdom in his hand. And when Menahem exacted the money of Israel, even all the mighty men of wealth of each of them, 50 shekels of silver to give to the king of Assyria. So the king of Assyria turned back and stayed not there in the land. And he said, oh wow, crisis averted, that's awesome. Go down to verse 29. In the days of Pekah, king of Israel, came Tilgath-Pileser, king of Assyria, and took Iljon and Abel, Beth-Meketh, and Genoa, and Kadesh, and Hazar, and Gilead, and Galilee, all the land of Naphtali, and carried them captive to Assyria. See, the whirlwind has already started. That's a whole tribe. Do you hear what he said? All the land of Naphtali. There's 10 tribes up there. And this guy comes in and wipes one of them out. There's no Naphtali anymore. Do you not understand that this is going to happen to the rest of you? Judah, don't you go up there, because you're about to see the inevitable result of your consequences. Your choices have consequences. And when you decide that you're going to live your life apart from God, don't be surprised when the consequences show up. Jeremiah chapter 4, verse 11. I realize I'm going quickly, but I don't want to keep you too long. At that time shall it be said to this people and to Jerusalem, a dry wind of the high places in the wilderness toward the daughter of my people, not to fan nor to cleanse. You want to get a little fire started, what do? You blow on it, you fan it a little bit, and the opportunity bursts forth, then it becomes a big blaze. God says, no, I'm not fanning you to make a big blaze back here. And I'm not blowing on you to clean it. My mom used to do that when she put the firewood on it. It's going to hurt a little bit. Don't worry, I'll blow on it. That doesn't help all that much, Mom, but you know. And then you find out years later they make the kind that doesn't stay. Verse 12, even a full wind from those places shall come unto me. Now also will I give sentence against them. See, God getting ready to bring the gavel down in the courtroom, and he says, when the whirlwind comes, you're going to be bound up in it. In other words, there's no escape. He closes in Hosea chapter 4. And they shall be ashamed because of their sacrifices. See, they put their hope in something. They valued something. And when the whirlwind comes, all of a sudden that something that they thought that was so important in their lives and so valuable in their lives, and they just couldn't live without it, all of a sudden it becomes useless and empty. Last verse, Jeremiah chapter 2, verse 26. As the thief is ashamed when he is found, so is the house of Israel ashamed. They, their kings, their princes, and their priests, and their prophets. You can close your Bible and bow your heads for just a second. Parable after parable after parable in the New Testament. Behold, I come quickly. I will come as a thief in the night. The 10 virgins, 5 of them didn't have enough oil, and they had to go out and get oil. And when they come back, they were not allowed in because the bridegroom had already come and he had shut the chamber door. 2 people asleep in their bed, and Jesus comes like a thief in the night. One is taken, the other is left. 2 people out in the field, one's taken, one's left. 2 people on the rooftop, one's taken, one's left. Can I ask you a question? When he comes as a thief, are you going to be ashamed courtroom, and you will be someday, when he lays out the charges, what will they be? And if he were writing to your family, would he say, don't you go up to, don't have anything to do with so-and-so? Because I've been dealing with them. And they've hardened their heart and just won't listen. What could possibly be more worthy of worship than God himself? Father, thank you that you are a patient, loving, graceful, merciful God. But help us to realize that you are also just, righteous, holy. You are so deserving of our love and attention. You are so deserving of our service. But we, like sheep, it's so easy for us to go astray. Help us, as Paul said, to run the race that is set before us and to fix our eyes on the prize of the high calling of your dear Son, Jesus Christ. So that we too can know the height, depth, love that flows. If there's someone here who has never trusted Jesus Christ as their personal